It's time to talk about some fantasy football. We're going to talk about last week, we'll talk about next week. We'll talk about everyone's playoff scenario. All right, just making sure it works. We're working. I don't know. Last time the music was too loud. I didn't realize that. All right, music's good volume right now. What's up, everybody? We are on to week 13. No buys this week by any team. Next week is Buy-Mageddon. For some reason, week 14 is the worst time to have a buy. But hey, we're here. We got some things to talk about. Looks like we got one viewer in the audience here. We're live. Is it Caleb? Who is that? Chime in. Let me know. Comment. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like. All the dings and whistles there. Just kidding. Let's get into it. Let's go ahead and just look at the standings real quick. Caleb locking in that X. He's in the playoffs. He doesn't have to worry about anything. I mean, he still obviously could potentially lose the number one overall season in the season. So that $100 or whatever the hell it is, regular season champion. Can't think of it. I just had the best steak that I've ever made in my life. Cooked perfectly, marinated for 24 hours. It was so good. Then we got 3, 7, and 5 teams. A-Ray, Dylan, Brian. Brian does not belong there. He got lucky last week. We're going to talk about that. Mitch also at 7 and 5. Never mind. We have 4, 7, and 5 teams. I cannot talk. Mitch also does not belong there. Although I did say his team was going to be pretty good, I still don't think he belongs there. And you'll see why here in a minute. And then we got Dustin at 6 and 6. Justin at 6 and 6. I'm at 5 and 7. It's awesome. And then we got the eliminators. We got Brady and Simon, 3 and 9. Better luck next year. There is no hope for you this year. Just make sure you set your lineups. Don't give anyone the free win, including me this week. I play Brady. We'll get there at some point. Looking at the points, just to take a look there. A-Ray actually has the most, and Caleb. Dustin in third. So that doesn't reflect that record there. Dylan. And not too much ahead of me. He's got me by about 50 points, but not that far ahead of me. And then I'm ahead of everybody that's ahead of me, including our bottom point scorer, Justin Miller. Brian, Mitch, Brady, Simon, Justin. Just some dumb luck this year for some people. It must be nice. Nobody knows what that's like. Oh, including dumb luck. Let's look. Who's got the least points against? Brian. Miller, Mitch, everybody who's ahead of me has the least points against. Most points against is Dustin. That does suck. I'm up there in the top 4. Dylan overcoming some good shit, and then Brady just getting clobbered every week. Doesn't help. 24% chance for me, 36 for Justin, and then everybody else above us is basically they're saying is locked in, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second. This is a lie. This is 100% a lie. You are not the best, clearly, considering you are not in first place. But I digress. Before we get into waivers and then playoff, scenarios and stuff like that, let's just go ahead and take a look at last week real quick. Brian beat me, unfortunately, by 10 points, 11 points. It was a rough one for me. Because putting up 125 points is pretty solid. You usually win most weeks. But when Brian picks up Emmanuel Wilson, who I had a bid in for, but then they were like, Jacobs might play. I didn't want to waste the rest of my fab yet. That was a mistake. Could have stopped Brian from scoring 25 points and beating me. I killed myself by not picking him up. But he got a good week out of Caleb, out of Derrick Henry. Judkins had a pretty solid week. Puka was okay. Not good here. And then the Ravens should have lost 7 more points, but Breece Hall fumbled on the 2-yard line. That was really cool at the end of the game. And then for my team, Drake May. This is just a quick fun fact. I have the mic. You have to listen to everything I have to say. So I just want to get into just a real quick synopsis here. So I have Baker and Drake May. And the first however many weeks, I was in between them. Most of the time I was leaning Baker because Drake May wasn't proven yet. He had some pretty good weeks here. Didn't start him here. Did not start him here. Did not start him here. You know when I started him? Right here. You know when I started him? Right here, right here, right here. Where was that 30-point week this week? Where was that 25-point week this week? No, I get under 20 points. Fucking the last 4 weeks that I start him anyways. Good weekend at Genty. Browns defense, what a hell of a stream. Got 1 point out of my kicker. That was really fun. That game was over in like 2 seconds. Thursday Night Football didn't help me. Anyways, fuck me. I lost. Dustin, or A-Ray clobbering Dustin, 150 to 116. Really doesn't help when Josh Allen coming off a 40-point week or 50-point week gets you 12. I actually had Jahmyr Gibbs in another league. It was awesome that he had 50 points. I also lost that game. Insane that you can lose when you have someone that scored 50 points. But the rest of the story is right there. A lot of single digits on his team. A lot of 20-point double digits on A-Ray's team. A-Ray didn't even have A-Chain. Didn't start Olave. He's got a pretty deep team. His team's looking pretty solid. A-Ray's looking to make that playoff push. Mitch got a much-needed win on Brady. Really needed Brady to beat Mitch here to keep my chances alive even better than they are. Just couldn't do it. Tedero McMillan had 10 points. It was like him versus Dowdle, and I think he were down like 7 or something like that. So unfortunately, it just was not enough here. A lot of single digits as well. Falcons actually a really good stream. Good job there, Brady, but he also had a pretty good defense at 25. Just a low-scoring affair. Really needed one more player to pop off. Maybe if T. Higgins didn't get hurt. He got concussed in that game. Probably would have been a different story. But unfortunately, it didn't work out for Brady. And then we had our 2 top dogs, Caleb and Dylan. Caleb took this one in a close one. It doesn't look like it was going to be close, but CMC is the MVP of fantasy football this year. Again, and unfortunately, Lamar only had 8 points. In that same league, I have Gibbs that scored 50, and I lost. I also had Lamar. So Lamar has been sucking dick lately. Really hope that he picks it up and moves forward. But JSN, carrying your team this year. He was nice to have on my team last year, but, I didn't keep him. Swift hasn't been good. That's unfortunate. Just some duds across the board for Dylan. And then Caleb's team, pretty solid. JT actually had a really bad week. Justin Jefferson is good, but his quarterback is not. Unfortunately for Caleb, although it doesn't matter right now because you already made the playoffs, but J.J. McCarthy's probably not going to play. Caleb getting a much-needed win, locking in that playoff spot. And then last but not least, our Toilet Bowl. We had 89 to 81. This was a battle for the shotgun, which did I miss Simon's video? It is now 6:43 on Wednesday. You have until tomorrow noon is the first kickoff tomorrow on Thanksgiving. Better get that video, Simon. You should chug it out of a turkey, like out of its asshole. That'd be fucking awesome. All right, just not much to talk about here. It's a pretty shitty affair. Justin just getting lucky once again, barely putting up any points and still getting a win somehow. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson couldn't find the end zone. Romeo Doubs, 3 points. Come on now. Harold Fanta Jr. has been good all year. And then the Seahawks defense against Tennessee had 4 points. Simon really got screwed here. Justin got lucky. That's all there is to say about that, realistically, because Justin's team is not great. Let's just talk about that trade that went down. I don't even need to really fucking pull it up. But Justin traded Jalen Waddle for Rome Odunze, which understandably so. He needed a win this week. He needed a receiver that was playing. Waddle was on bye. Kind of get it. But I offered him Genty and DK for Saquon. Genty and DK both outscored Rome Odunze. Genty and DK both outscored Saquon. And for some reason, he did that trade. But hey, you know what? Fuck you. Okay, that's all I got to say. Real quick, the recap from last week on Fantasy Pros. A-Ray got that high score, whipping that ass. Simon, unfortunately, shotgunning. Bad beat. Dylan, lucky break. There he is. What do you know? Not so lucky. What do you know? It's me. Oh, I would have beat half the what? I would have beat every 7-2. Only 7-2. Cool. Brian starting. At least he started everybody that he could, and then I don't know whatever that one is. Focus on all three. Okay, whatever. Mitch got the win, and I'm upset about it. Okay. Anyways, real quick, let's look at some waivers. I didn't even look at waivers. I was hunting all weekend. This weekend always throws me off because I feel like I don't pay attention to shit when I'm out there. There were a lot of bids for Devin Neal, rightfully so. Kamara's probably going to be done for at least, I don't know, probably the end of the season. I mean, why would you bring him back when you're not playing for anything? 150 to Brian, and he's hurt. No, I think he'll be fine. But pretty good pickup. I think he'll be fine. I mean, I don't think you're starting him. And if you are, then you're very desperate. Interesting pickup Rams defense here. I don't know who they play this week. I'll have to check it out. And then Kenneth Gainwell. I'm sure he'll pop off. Somehow Brian gets these backup fucking running backs that just go off. Okay. Real quick, before we get into next week. Let's see here. Let's actually look at some playoff situations here. So we've got a lot of teams fighting for that 5th and 6th spot. If any of these 7 and 5 teams lose out, realistically, A-Ray's still going to make it because he's got the points. Same with Dylan. Dylan should be fine even if he loses out here. He's got the points. Dustin needs essentially one more win. He can go 1-1, and he should be in at that point. And then you got me on the cusp. I need to win out in order to make it. And if I win out, it should push Mitch out because I play Brady this week, and then I got Mitch in week 14. So that head-to-head in 14 is going to be huge. Looking at Justin's schedule, Justin has to win out in order to make it, which may not even happen because he's out here fucking putting up 90 points and winning games. He's got Dylan and A-Ray. Yikes. Yikes. That's a major yikes. I don't know if he's even going to get one win to end the season. So good for those guys. It looks like Dylan and A-Ray have secured their playoff spot because they're going to get a win this week and next week. So yeah, I think Justin's done so, but he does need to win. He does need to win out to get really to secure that because of his points. I know he can go 7 and 7, but he's got the lowest points of anybody. So even if he ties with some of these guys, it's just not going to happen. Brian, essentially, it's if these guys win out, Brian's got to win out. No, Brian. If Brian goes 1-1, he should make it. I need Mitch to lose out, or Dustin to lose out. Basically, that's how I would get into the playoffs. But anyways, a lot of different scenarios there. Let's go ahead and look at this week. I'm sweating after this match. All right, let's go. Let me just do a quick gander here. Not a whole lot of time to prepare. I would put this as the matchup of the week just because it's our top dogs, but we're going to go ahead and say no because there's really not big playoff implications here because Caleb's already locked in. So Caleb could lose this game. A-Ray would lock in. But it could be bad for A-Ray, although, like I said, I think even if A-Ray loses out, he's still in. I know it didn't clinch him, but he's got the points. Looking at this matchup, highest scoring matchup, A-Ray's been projected 140 consistently. That's pretty fucking scary. I mean, look at his team. Everybody on his team is top 10, other than Rashee Rice, which there's a reason he missed 6 weeks, and Breece Hall, who I would still take a top 15 running back as my flex. Looking at the matchups, great matchup for Mahomes. Should tear up Dallas. Jalen Hurts should tear up Chicago, so pretty even there. JT and A-Chain. I favor A-Chain because Houston's defense is legit. It is a divisional matchup. Javonte versus James Cook. Probably going to leave James Cook here. Lean James Cook because Javonte plays the Chiefs, and he can't run on the Chiefs. We know that. Pickens versus Rashee Rice. I'm going to lean Rashee Rice because Cowboys. Hunter Henry and Brock Bowers. Always Brock Bowers. I'd almost rather have Ladd McConkey than Breece just because that offense hasn't been great. And he fumbled on the 2-yard line last week and really screwed me out of a win, but we're not going to talk about him. Yeah, it's going to be pretty close. I think I'm still going to lean A-Ray in this one. I think he's just got the better matchups. I think Rashee Rice is going to feast on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys, and George Pickens is going to get shut the F down. Same with Jonathan Taylor. Looking at bada bing, bada boom. Dylan versus Justin. 125 to 103. Much needed wins for both of them. Dylan's semi-safe, but if he could get this win, which he should, because Justin's not going to break 100, he should lock in his playoff spot after this week. His team's just too good top to bottom. I think Lamar's going to be better. Justin's having to stream quarterbacks, which Stafford has actually been really good this year, so not a bad stream there. He could outperform Lamar because Lamar's been bad. We'll find out on Thursday. He plays Thursday Night Football. We'll see about Saquon. You should have traded him to me. You could have had, better options, but, it is what it is. You don't know how to play fantasy. Get Chicago, though. You love it. You hate it. You love it. It's okay. I mean, he'll probably be shadowed in that game. Kelsey should be fine, and then Kamara is not going to play, so you better figure that out. Lamar, great matchup. If you can't do it against Cincinnati, you might need to look for a backup for the playoffs, Dylan, because that's pathetic if you can't put up at least 18 points against Cincinnati. CMC, he's unstoppable. Swift has been not great lately because Manungai is getting his carries. So is it too late to trade? Maybe you should have picked up Devin Neal. I don't know. Swift is kind of unreliable. So is A.J. Brown, but he was good last week. I think he'll also be good the rest of the season. He's got a really good schedule. JSN, unstoppable. You really do have like the top fucking players in fantasy. I know they are ranked number 1. I get that. But they don't have duds. They really don't. You could put them up against the best defense, they're still going to get you 15, 20 points. Like, it's insane. So if you don't win, Dylan, you should use more of that waiver budget there. And yeah, you got Kyle Pitts starting. You don't like that. Juwan Jennings against Cleveland, not great. Brock Purdy couldn't even throw it last week. He threw 4 fucking picks in that game. Eagles against Chicago. Caleb Williams is pretty good. Caleb Williams is pretty good. Might not be the best thing there either. I don't like your matchups. There could be an upset here. Justin really... You don't have a chance. I'm taking Dylan. Next! Simon versus Brian. Wow, Simon. Projected to beat Brian. This would actually help me and a lot of those other squads that are fighting. So fight the good fight, Simon. Fucking put up a good fight here. Hopefully Justin Herbert can do it against Vegas. Divisional rivalry. Terrible defense. He's been good. Come on. Marion Hampton might be back this week. We don't know. Caleb Williams also against Philly. So. Derrick Henry might put up 30 points. That is a possibility versus Jacobs. If Jacobs plays, is he really not questionable? Did they take him off the injury report already? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, there you go. Brian doesn't get his streamer, his Emmanuel Wilson streamer again this week. Kenneth Walker, he's been good as of late. Although Charbonnet keeps stealing those touchdowns, you do get Jamar back. Troy Franklin's got a good matchup. Fannon's got a good matchup. Stevenson, I think Henderson's taken over there, but he could get a goal line touchdown or 2. You never know. And then, Seahawks versus Minnesota should be fine. Brian's team, like I said, like your running backs, like your matchups this week. Puka is unstoppable. Quentin Johnston, he could get you 0. He could get you 15. Good luck with that one. Goddard's been solid. And then starting Kenneth Gainwell, I don't know if Warren's hurt or if you're just desperate. He might actually be hurt, but not the greatest. Simon looking pretty good. I like Simon's odds here. He's got some better players, but these 3 right here, I think, are going to carry Brian to the promised land. Brian going 8-5 might be locking in this playoff spot with one of the lowest points totals out of the entire league. Let's go ahead and look at the me versus Brady, another 3-9 eliminated team just trying to fuck someone's day up, and you know what? He's probably going to do it. It's just, I just can feel it coming. My team, not terrible top to bottom, top 15, 16 players. Woody Marks has been okay. I might start Marion Hampton. He could be back this week. If he is, he would go into my flex. But right now, Drake May against the Giants, love it. Bo Nix against Washington, love it. Both running backs matchups are pretty solid too. Same with Chase Brown, his is good. Still rocking David Montgomery. Gibbs has been the man, so kind of tough and a tough matchup. Don't expect huge things there, but you never know. He could get 3 touchdowns on Thursday and just fuck my world up before Sunday even comes. Nico Collins, hopefully he can bounce back. He had 7 points last week, really looking better. But Sauce Gardner, you never fucking know now. Adams has been on a tear. McBride's unstoppable. We'll see about Woody Marks. And then Browns do play the Niners, who, like I said, Brock Purdy just threw 3 picks. If he can't throw 3 picks against the Browns, then I just quit. And then he's still rocking the Falcons against the Jets. It's not terrible either. And he got a really good kicker. My kicker's trash. He got me 1 point last week. I feel like I'm going to get upset here, and it's just going to be like, hey, there's the end of your season. You lost to an eliminated team, but I got to put full force into my team. I'm taking myself. We're going to do it this week. We're going to stay alive. We're going to stay alive 1 more week. And for our showdown of the week, I can't play videos anymore until Simon pays for it. Why is this a showdown of the week, you ask? Well, both of these teams are on the cusp of playoffs. Mitch needs to lose 2 in order for me to make the playoffs. Dustin needs to win 2 in order to solidify his spot in the playoffs. But like I said, he could go 1-1 and still possibly make it. 122 to 116, pretty close matchup here. Looking at our fucking box score, I expect Josh Allen to have a day. He only put up 12 points last week. He plays Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense is actually very bad this year. I expect him to bounce back. He's going to have a good one. As far as Sam Darnold, revenge game at home against his team that he played for last year that didn't want to sign him because they had J.J. McCarthy, who is ultimately a bust. I can see Sam Darnold having a fucking day too. So that's going to be a pretty good matchup there. Jaylen Warren and Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't even need to talk about Gibbs. He's possibly the best running back in the league. I know we talk about CMC being the MVP, but damn, Gibbs putting up a couple 40, 50 bombs this year. Pretty insane. Jaylen Warren is playing, so I'm not sure why Brian's starting Gainwell against the worst run defense in the league. You like it. You don't like this matchup. Rams have a really good defense, even though it is giving him the edge. I still think Kyren Williams beats Rico Dowdle this week for sure. They play against each other. He's going to win that one. Marvin Harrison is back, I believe. I think he says still questionable, but if he plays, Jacoby Brissett is a beast, and he's been feeding Harrison, and then CeeDee Lamb plays the Chiefs. We know that we're going to shut CeeDee Lamb down. We're going to have lamb for Thanksgiving. We're going to cook it up. We're going to roast it. We're going to smother it in gravy, and we're going to eat it. It's going to be good. All right, Zay Flowers and Emeka Egbuka. Egbuka has not been good as of late, and it sounds like Teddy Bridgewater may be starting this game. So that's a real big downgrade for Egbuka. You should have traded to me when I tried to get him from you a long time ago. And he's played Cincinnati. So I expect Zay Flowers to outperform Egbuka. This check mark is bullshit. Same with Kittle. Well, they play Cleveland. That's a tough one. Tyler Warren's been good. That's also a tough one. These tight ends could both score under 5 points this week. That's a very heavy possibility. Waddle versus Henderson. If Henderson could get in the end zone, he's good. But last week we saw he didn't score and he only had 9 points. It wasn't great. No one really liked it, but hey, it is what it is. And then your defenses, so. Those are always up in the air. No one really knows. Right now, I am leaning towards Dustin just because he's got some bad matchups over there. You don't like those matchups, and he doesn't have a starting quarterback for Egbuka. I'm going to go Dustin in this one. Dustin's going to take it, and Mitch is going to move to 7-6, and hopefully I move to 7-6, and then I got a chance. I just got to beat Mitch in the last week of the fucking season, and we're right there. I think I talked about everyone's game. Playoff projections aren't really shit because it's just going to take the top teams, I think. Yeah, it's just got the top teams that are there right now. It's so stupid. They should look ahead to see who plays who, and then you can get a playoff thing there. But anyways, 2 weeks left, boys. And once again, that 6th, maybe that 5th and 6th spot, it's going to come down to the wire. I'm still sticking with my prediction. Brian could slide out of there. He did get a much needed win against me last week, unfortunately. But I'm looking right now. If we get a 7, if I went out 7-7, Justin goes 1-1, 7-7. He's not going to. We already know look who he plays. Dustin goes 7-7. He's got the points. If Mitch goes 7-7, he does not have the points. Unless, obviously, he could have a huge game. Some of us could have a shitty game. And then Brian goes 7-7. He is still struggling on points, but that one is getting closer than Mitch. And then Dylan goes 7-7. He's definitely got the points. So And they're still not locked in. Anything can happen, but I think A-Ray makes the playoffs. I think Dylan makes the playoffs after this week. Those two are locked in, and then the rest is up in the air, boys. It's up in the air, and we all start tomorrow. We got fucking noon game. It's Lions Packers. We got Chiefs Cowboys at 3. We've got fucking Ravens Bengals at 7. Glorious Thanksgiving. Everybody be thankful for their teams, for fantasy football, for fucking having this league that we've had for 15 years. This is an insane season. I wish you all luck. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving. Eat the shit out of some turkey and some potatoes and some mac and cheese and some W's, boys. All right, I'm out of here. I will be back next week to solidify what is our playoffs. That's what I'm going to do. I don't even know if that made sense. All right, boys. Peace. Happy Thanksgiving. I love you.